guys, what's up? Excited to be here. Hey everybody, thank you for joining. I'm pumped. What's up guys? I'm in Macau today and I'm bringing you this from the Mandarin. I'm in my hotel room. I'm sorry I don't have better tech. I wish I had my webcam and my microphone so I could get a little bit better quality, but I think it's important to connect with you guys in different places. And especially when I'm in the poker scene, involved in Macau, I really wanted to plug in and do a live Q&A episode and answer some of your questions. I'm going to be taking call-ins during this show as well. And I'm excited to do this. I did one of these last week. It was awesome. The first one, as I mentioned earlier, one of my New Year's resolutions for 2019 was to host like a talk show where I could actually do live call-ins and answer some of your questions, get to know you guys better, provide more value to you, and also find ways to, creative ways to make the YouTube better in 2019 for conscious poker. So I'm excited about that. Quick update. I flew to Hong Kong on New Year's Eve. I boarded the flight literally like as the clock was striking midnight, and I flew from JFK to Hong Kong on New Year's. I basically skipped the first because of the time change. So I landed in the morning of the second, and I was in Hong Kong. I was coaching some poker there, and I worked with a few clients in Hong Kong. That was amazing. It was a great time. Actually just posted a video on my YouTube about my experience doing that. There's more content to come on my YouTube about my experience in Hong Kong coaching poker, some of the things that I've learned, and some of the insights that I talk about with my clients while coaching that I'm going to share with you guys on YouTube. So that's going to be exciting stuff coming your way. So be sure to stay tuned to that. And then I came out to Macau 2 days ago, and I've been playing and coaching some poker here as well. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more today. So that's exciting stuff. Ciao, Andrea. And yeah, so that's what I've been up to. I'm out here for another couple days. I kind of take it day by day when I go to Macau because you just never know what's going to happen here. You don't know how you're gonna feel, if you're gonna want to play poker, if the games are going to be good, if there's going to be opportunity to play, if you're going to get kind of caught up in playing. Also, I'm coaching out here, and so that's keeping me busy, and there's scheduling some things with that as well. And I'm potentially going after this to onwards to Singapore. And so, yeah, I'm excited for the trip out here. But there's definitely some action here. The games have changed a lot since I first got here in 2012. I can't believe it's been 7 years since I've been coming out here. It's crazy. Yeah, it's just changed so much. I remember when I first got here, it was like just a completely different landscape. It's kind of reminded me of online poker a little bit, where, you start playing in 2003, 2004, 2005 online, and then, look at the progress of online poker in the last, decade or 2 decades. It's been incredible, right? And the games have changed. They've gotten tougher. The way the games have changed, the way that people play, the landscape at the table. It's just, everything has changed. And I feel like it's the same in Macau. Some things are still the same. Of course, classic Macau is still there, but it's interesting to note how things progressed and evolved in the poker scene on the live circuit. Of course, things do take longer live than online because online you have exponential growth where like there's just play so many more hands and so many people come from all over the world. But things have progressed pretty quickly in Macau here too. So that's been interesting. I played some interesting hands that I'm going to be sharing with you guys on the YouTube and Hand of the Day episodes. I got like a long list of hands that I think are going to make for great Hand of the Day episodes. And on my Instagram right now, I'm posting some hands as well. So be sure to stay tuned to Instagram at Alec Torelli. You can follow me there. And I posted a really sick hand from the game yesterday. And I'm actually doing a giveaway on my Instagram where the best people, the best response to like how people should play the hand strategically get a free month access to our Conscious Poker Pro membership program, which includes monthly group coaching with me. So that's some stuff for you guys to check out as well. But I do want to take calls on this show. Number, and I want to really answer your questions here. So let me it's open. I'm going to drop in the phone number here. We did this the other day, and I took like 5 calls in an hour episode, and it was awesome. We talked about all things poker. I'm open to discussing anything today. It doesn't have to be specific to Macau poker. That's just kind of an update from my life and where I am. But I'm open to taking questions on anything. So we'll do one at a time. First come, first serve. So if you guys have questions, feel free to start calling in. And what's up, guys, in the chat? I saw you guys there. James, Mirza, Hector, this screen name that I can't pronounce. What's up, guys? Nice to see you here, and welcome. Hey, Ricardo. How you doing? Feel free to say where you guys are from, too, in the chat. I'd like to learn more about you guys as well. That's always exciting for me, and really trying to serve the poker community better in 2019 with some of the content that we're producing here. And I'm excited about some of the things coming up at Conscious Poker. Some things in the works that I don't want to announce yet because I'm just kind of flushing them out in terms of the projects. But I have some cool ideas for the YouTube that I think are going to be cool. So some questions here in the chat. The stakes and games that are running, there's everything running from 50-100, and everything is Hong Kong dollars. So 50-100, you divide by roughly 8. So 50-100 is like 612, okay? All the way up to 1,000, 2,000, which is like, let's see, like 1,000, 2,000 is like 225 big blind, something like that. So like 120, 220, like 110, 220. It's kind of like 1,000, 2,000. So those are the that's what's running, and it just varies on the day, like what runs. It just sort of depends on who's there. You know how games are built in poker; they're very efficient, and so if there's a lucrative player playing, to put it in a politically correct manner, you will find some good games running. If not, you sometimes won't. And sometimes games run around the clock. Sometimes they start at noon and break at 4. Sometimes they run all day. So when am I going to live at the bike? I don't know. It's a good question. I'm planning on going there. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I know I'm plans to go to LA. I don't even have plans to leave Macau, so I really don't know what's going on. So yeah, guys, I'm doing yeah. Anyway, no worries. Thanks for all the kind wishes, guys. Just checking you guys out in chat here. Let's take a call. Someone call in with a question that I could help answer. It could be anything poker related. The number to call is here. You go. And this makes for some really good chat because it's really cool. I feel like a lot of the questions that you guys have, everybody else has, and then it creates this really stimulating dialogue where we just kind of get into it, and it's really fun. So it's a good chance for you guys to get your questions answered and me to get to know you guys as well, which is awesome. Awesome, John. Glad you're doing well. You're welcome from Macau. That's great. Glad to hear that some of the talk we had, discussion, coaching, whatever it was, ended up helping you improve your game. That's always exciting to hear. Biggest pot witnessed. I actually only played, I didn't play that much poker here, to be honest. I was very busy with coaching and some other things, and obviously creating some content as well. So it's different things going on that are taking my energy from different stuff. So I also just got here and I was jet lagged. I missed the big game one day to get in. And so I don't think I saw that big of a, maybe 30,000 US, something like that. Probably the biggest pot I saw. But they're definitely bigger pots. It just, takes time. Yeah, so question on making a video about low stakes cash games. Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of my hand of the days, guys, are about readers that send in hands from low stakes cash games. And I think one misconception that I hear a lot in poker is oh, those are those plays that you guys make at the high stakes games, but those don't apply in my game, right? That's the common thing. It's oh, those games play differently, so people play differently, so you can't make those plays in my game. And there's a modicum of truth to that, in the sense that you're not going to bluff in certain spots in low stakes games because people simply don't fold. So you're not going to just make some bluff when the guy obviously is never going to fold top pair. Those things are true. But, and this is a huge but, this is the main point that I want to make in this topic, is that I think people get caught up with this idea that oh, those high stakes guys play differently because their games are different, and I'm just going to play my own style. And it's the way to sort of think about it, that I use the best analogy is think about grandmasters in chess. Okay, grandmasters in chess play a certain way, and it might be different than the way an amateur plays. They develop their pieces differently, and they sort of like play a more patient game. They're not like advancing their pieces so often. They're sort of like just playing a more balanced and constructed approach. I'm not sure if I'm using the right words here, but they play a different way than amateurs, but they play better. And the fundamentals of Grandmaster chess will win against Grandmasters, and it will win against amateurs. Undoubtedly, it will win against amateurs. So if you have a strategy that can beat Grandmasters, it's obviously going to work against non-Grandmasters. Sure, there are some adjustments you might make. You might go for the 4-move checkmate in chess against a complete amateur, and you would never do that against a Grandmaster. But if you play the same patient, solid fundamentals that work against a Grandmaster, it will work against the worst players in the world. And I hope that makes sense. And I hope the chess analogy makes it as obvious that it is that way. So, all right, we got a caller here. Let's do it. What's up, man? My name is Alec. What's your name? Where are you from? Now's when you talk.
Alec?
Yeah, what's up, man? It's your turn. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I was calling. I had a small question.
What's your name? Where's you from? Hold on.
Oh, yeah?
What, yeah, we were trying to go to bed together. I don't even know your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Brandon. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay, cool. That's funny. I got like, did you just type to me in chat? Was that you? John? No, it's someone else.
No.
Oh, okay, cool. I was
yeah,
gonna say
that was somebody else.
We got some Michigan people here. All right, what's up, Brandon?
So over the course of my career, I've been playing a very exploitative style.
Yeah.
And I found success with it, but there's definitely spots where I feel like, like kind of a game theoretical approach could definitely benefit me.
Yes.
Even in terms of exploitation.
Yes.
But my biggest issue is I'm not really sure where to start with it.
Yes, totally understand. And this is a
feel
common
like a lot
question.
Of the information is just kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. It is. So this is the way that I look at it. And I think people see some of the plays that I make and they think that I like don't give a fuck about game theory. And it's just completely not true. I actually default to use a theoretical approach towards poker. Like I'm not, like people think you have to choose. People think you got to like either be the game theory guy or the exploitative guy, but it's just not true. Like even the best players that are sort of like exploitative, like maybe like a Negranu or a Helmuth are using game theory. Like game theory basically says you should choose correct, like proper ranges to play pre-flop. And that's just the simple fundamentals of game theory. And everybody does that. Like you don't see the best players in the world playing terrible pre-flop starting hands out of position because game theory says you shouldn't, and they have to adhere to that. Okay. So there are places down the road, right? That's sort of like opening chat strategy in chess, right? You open your center pawns, pretty standard. Then there are places where people start to deviate. Like after they develop the knights and bishops, people start to sort of deviate from game theory in the sense that like some people, maybe call 3-bets with hands. Maybe that's not the best example, but some people like c-bet with hands that they should maybe check. And that's where like this sort of game theory exploitative play starts to actually come to fruition, where the conversation actually starts to happen. And I think the best place for you to start is, first of all, pre-flop fundamentals. Like you have to follow game theory there. Like you could sort of deviate from those fundamentals if you notice your table is playing very badly. You can expand your range a little bit. But in the beginning, you should basically always start with a game theory approach. You should always start with what is the correct play to make and make that play. And then when you have a reason to deviate from that play, for example, you notice that your opponents are folding too often pre-flop, you could consider deviating from game theory and opening wider on the button. That's a simple adjustment you can make. But the point here is that you want to start with what you think is the correct play to make versus everybody. That's play that's profitable no matter what. You choose strong ranges. You play those ranges aggressively from the right positions. That's going to be a winning strategy whether you're playing against the best player in the world or a complete orangutan, right? Like it's going to work. It's a profitable way to play poker. It's like developing, E4 in chess. It's just it's the right play. Like it's going to be a winning play. So, and you want to take that. So post flop, like if you have a hand that you should c-bet, like the top of your range, maybe you want to c-bet that hand. If you have a hand that's a bluff, you want to c-bet some of your bluffs. If you have a middle strength hand, like mid pair, you want to consider checking that back because you want your range to be balanced. That's just basics of game theory, and like that's basically how I play poker. Like unless I have a reason to bet my middle pair because this guy's just a complete station and he plays super straightforward on the turn in the river and I want a bluff catch or whatever, like I'm not going to do something that is not what is the default play. So like my default, especially against better players, is just to make the right plays. Like, and you watch high stakes poker on TV, and frankly, it's almost like boring because nobody makes any mistakes, but nobody makes any plays. Like they just play the hands the way that they're supposed to play them. You're just watching people play perfect poker. I mean, it's not boring, but it's like it's almost more fun watching worse players because you see shit. You're like, oh wow, he's bluffing here.
He's the table and see how they exploit. Definitely.
Right. But when you watch like the Super High Roller Bowl, I watched one recently. Just I like to keep up to date with poker and trends and what's going on. It's like there were only hang on, caller. Hang on. Sorry. I don't have a great way to screen calls because I'm a one-man show here. So hang on, other callers. I will take your calls after this, I promise. It's more fun to watch amateurs, like because they're bluffing when they're not supposed to be. So they're putting people to the test. That's why it's fun and difficult to play against the reckless maniac. But when you play against the super straightforward pros, I'm not saying it's easy. It's near impossible because they never make mistakes. But it's like they play the way you would expect them to play. They're calling with what they're called. They're checking when they should be checking. They're betting when they're supposed to be betting. And so that's what you should do in the beginning. And then if you have a reason to deviate from that because your opponent is terrible, then you could open your betting range. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Awesome.
Now you might be wondering, well, like, how do I know what my ranges are? Well, that's a separate conversation that we obviously don't have time for. Well, this isn't the platform to get into that at the moment. But that's the theory behind the theory, and then it's up to you to learn the proper theory. It's like, if we're having a talk about a chess show, like we're having a talk, but I can't put in the simulation what opening strategy is. You have to like study all those things, right? You have to study what the ranges are in every position, and that's on you to do your homework, right? You gotta do the work. There's no excuse for putting in the work. You will never know what the right theory is unless you study, and that's what the best pros are doing. They're studying theory a lot, just like the best chess players are spending a lot of time. Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I need 7 seconds. Be right back, guys. Sorry. All right. So we had another caller. Jeff, I want to take your question. Hello from Chicago Realty. I got a lot of questions here in the chat box. Oh no, the link I sent via email is invalid. Oh my. I like multitask here because I sent out a newsletter to a bunch of subscribers and it didn't work. That's a total disaster. So I'm gonna have to send out anyway. I'm gonna multitask here for a second.
That's a total disaster.
Let's take another call. I got another caller that called in. Feel free to call back. I will answer your question, and I'm happy to do that. What's up? Feel free to call in. I'm sorry, I'm like semi-multitasking. Tilt. I don't know. I guess my first time doing a YouTube live, and some of the tech ended up not in the best categories. So sorry about that, guys. Anyway, buddy, I gotta let you go. Got another call. We'll catch up soon.
Hey, thank you very much.
You got it. See ya. Hey, man, what's up? What's your name? Where are you from? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, man, what's up? What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, this is James Capetti. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, James?
Not much. Hey, a quick question for you, man. I noticed you were live streaming tonight.
You got it. What's up?
And this has to do with basically playing online. What are your, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Playing online, what are your thoughts about the state of online poker as far as being able to play in America and combating all the issues with collusion and, hacks and all that stuff?
Good question. I don't play online in the US, so I'm not like super in tune with that scene, but so I got to preface this, statement with that. Is there something else about the question, or that specifically about, because like we kind of touched on a lot of things with like colluding, and that's a whole separate conversation too.
I guess maybe the main point would be, do you think that the game is fair online versus going into a brick and mortar casino, or do you think people are taking unnecessary risks by, exposing themselves in that that format of the game.
So, okay, this is the way I think about it that I think will help answer the question in a way that is. I read a great book by Andy Duke called Thinking in Bets, and most people think in terms of like black and white, like the question you asked is a yes or no question. But the way to sort of the way she explains to answer questions that is more accurate is answer them in percentages. Liv Boeree gave a great TED talk on this same subject as well, and that's the way that poker players inherently think. And so it's like the way that I think about it, that hopefully provides some perspective is like hold on, I want to show you something.
Okay,
hold on. Let me show you something. Okay, so this is here. Hang on. All right, this is 1,000 Hong Kong dollars. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Hello, you with me? You with me? Well, everybody else is with me.
Yeah.
Okay, you're with me. You're with me. This is 1,000 Hong Kong dollars.
Yep.
Okay. This is like $130 US. This is worth $1,000, right? Like,
right.
In your mind, you're like, this is worth $1,000. Okay. This is a win chip that's 10,000 Hong Kong dollars, and in your mind, this is also worth $10,000 because you could exchange this for 10 of these by walking across the street from the Mandarin to the Win, and you could exchange this and get 10 of these, which can buy you things because everybody accepts that this is worth the same value, right?
Right.
Okay, so your online money is worth something. And the legitimacy of the site that you play on determines what it's worth. So on PokerStars, if you have these, the chips, the digital money is worth this because it's pretty close to guaranteed. Like you're pretty safe that $1 or $100 is worth $100. Does that make sense?
Right.
On a random site like donkeypoker.com, your $100 is not worth $100. I don't know what it's worth because I can't value for the efficacy of the site. I don't know the CEO. I don't know their financials, but it's not worth $100. It's worth 99, 98, 95, 90. So
interesting.
So the way that I think about it is what level of risk are you comfortable with? On Poker Master, for example, the app, the famous Chinese app. I didn't watch the video yet. I'm actually going to watch it. I know Joey Ingram and I have our differences, but I trust that he probably produced a great video about the landscape of that community. And so like the point is that the money that you use on a random site where you're playing on credit or you're trusting that some agent is going to pay you is not worth $100. It's the reason why that in home games people are like, oh, I don't want to play in home games, I get stiffed. Or I hear all the time from clients, students, readers. They're saying, oh, I play in a home game and it's so safe. I always get paid. And I'm like, sure, you always gotten paid, but you're playing in a situation where you're betting on a random person in the world backing the entire game, and that's not worth $100. I don't care how rich this guy is. I've heard all the stories. I've seen all the situations in my 15 years of playing poker. The richest, most secure home games somehow don't pay eventually, sometimes, and so your money is not worth $1. Your dollar is not worth $1 in those environments. In a home game, on a random casino, it's worth less. And you have to decide what it's worth and if you're willing to take that risk. You're paying rake to play on those games where your money is worth less.
Interesting.
So that's how I think about it. I hope that helps answer the question in a way that's like as accurate as possible, because just to say that, oh, you should definitely play on the site, it's secure, is bullshit. It's a fraction of secure. And I don't know what fraction that is.
Yeah, and it's insightful, man. It's just like, depending on where people are in the world, some, playing online is more of a, realistic thing than someone having to drive 6 hours to go to a casino or whatever. And so it's like, I found myself in that situation where it's like, okay, well, do I really want to commit to an entire day of, making basically a day road trip to go get in a 4 or 5 hour session, and then, or do I just want to throw $100 on my account and, play some cash games or whatever, and then just, ride it out from there.
Totally. And that's
So it's
the age-old question, like, you know, what's better? And it's also like experiential. Like it's no doubt that most people would agree that all things being equal, if you could teleport to the sitting in the game of the casino, you would choose that all day. It's just,
right.
Is it worth the hassle of, you know, dealing with the rake of playing live poker in the sense of the time requirement? But going back to the subject of the question about the online sites, like what I would do personally is I wouldn't risk money I can't afford. I would cash out regularly, and I wouldn't, like, even if my bankroll, let's say my bankroll to play a game is $1,000. Okay, let's say my bankroll is $1,000, and I'm playing a game with a $10 buy-in. Right, you have 100 buy-ins.
Right.
I would keep, you know, 900 of that 1,000 in my bank account and $100 of that 1,000 on the website, and then just deposit if I lose the 10 buy-ins. My bankroll is still there. I'm still practicing bankroll management. I'm just keeping the money in a place where I feel more comfortable. Now, if it's 1,000, if it's an amount that you're comfortable losing, and you're like, you know, whatever, you're gonna throw, you know, 500 or 1,000 on a site, and you're comfortable losing it, that's fine. But if you're talking about amount of money that, you know, and money is relative, so I'm whatever it is to you that you don't want to lose because you have your bankroll on there. If you put your $10,000 savings on that site, you know, fasten your seatbelt.
Okay, and then to piggyback off that, if
sure.
Okay, let's say, you know, just for ease of numbers or whatever, and say somebody throws $100 on a site, and then, you know, they go on a heater and they start running it up.
Yeah.
What percentage of that, and at what like time frame would you recommend saying, okay, I need to do a cash out to just mitigate the risk of everything that we've talked about previously? Because I've found myself in that pattern over the years of, like, you know, I'll win a tournament or whatever, you know, $20 buy-in, you know, you come up $3,500 or whatever, and then it's like you leave it on the site because it's like, no, I'm trying to, you know, run up the stakes or whatever, and then, you know, 2-3 weeks later, you find yourself busted all the way out. Like, where's the check down and the you know, the voice of reason there?
Yeah, the answer would be, and the answer would be just the amount that you're comfortable losing. So like the amount that you wouldn't be tilted if you lost. So you always have to put yourself in the mindset of, what's my worst case scenario? If I can accept that, it's the right decision. If not, then you might not want to do that. So I would just consider, like, okay, if I lost this $1,000, is that the right, like, would I be okay with that? I wouldn't be happy, but I would be okay with it. Okay, I'm going to only leave it.
It's good to know.
All right, man. I got to let you go. I got to take a few more callers. Pleasure. Thank you for your time. See you, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, guys. I'm taking more callers. I'm sorry. I'm learning as I go. So if I talk too long on one call, and yeah, I'm just learning as I go. So I'll get better. I promise. Or I don't promise, but I'm pretty confident that I'll get better at this. So thanks for your patience, guys, while I learn the ropes of, you know, live call-in hosting radio shows. Yeah, it's my second one ever. So cool. If you guys have more questions, call in. I'm sorry, the guys that called that I didn't answer. I was on the phone, but feel free to call back. Obviously, if you're going to call when I'm not on the phone, like as soon as I hang up, or you see the call is going to end, get ready and then be the first one, and I'll answer your call. Yeah, so let's do that. I'm sorry to everyone that is just joining. I see a few people joining in from email. I'm really sorry that the email link was broken. Fortunately, this will all be on YouTube. So to catch you up to speed, I'm in Macau, and I just got out here. I came here for New Year's, and so I will be updating you with some of the games here and hand of the day episodes and some vlogs that I'm making about my life here. Also, I will take some questions that I don't answer here. If you guys leave me your questions here in the chat, or reach out to me on social media at Alec Torelli, especially on Twitter. It's probably the easiest place to connect with me. I will favorite some questions, and I will answer them in videos while I'm out here about the landscape of Macau or things like that we don't have time to get to. Oh, sorry, guys. The number to call. Genius. Man, I need like a mod and all this stuff. It's like I get so many things to think about. Learning as I go. Here we go. Probably a good way to get people to call in is give them the phone number. Note to self. All right. So anyway, this is fun, guys. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I know it's Sunday. I know you could be anywhere, and Thanks for hanging out with me. This is really cool. It's, by the way, I got up at like 5 today because I'm jet lagged. So it's 7:30 in the morning here in Macau. So I I like got up and I like planned this thing, and appreciate you guys being here, keep being here and keeping me company. When there's nothing there's nothing else going on for me here, and so I'm excited to do it. Actually, there's a lot going on, but in the morning it's 5 a.m. It's crazy time. So appreciate it. I've been going on a super weird sleep schedule. I've been going to bed at like 10, but I like to be up early. I feel great being up early. So yep, playing some cash in Macau. Talked about that in the beginning. Only cash games here. I actually never played a tournament in Macau. There's like huge tournament series that come here, and people travel all over the world to play in these huge tournaments in Macau. And like, I'm just there at the Wynn playing high stakes cash games, and then like there's a tournament across the street, and like, do you want to go play? And I'm like, no. Yeah. So use OBS Studio to add overlay to your video with phone number. Thank you. I will do that in the future. Thank you. I think I've done that in the past, by the way. I'm just trying to simplify my tech as much as possible, but I realized that like that would enhance it a lot because I could like put messages, and I could like put like phone numbers and like suggestions, and like totally should do that. These will get better, guys. Like, I'm super ad hoc. You can see I'm at my hotel room. I'm at the Mandarin Macau, and like I have this background, and I have no good video camera. I apologize for that. I didn't bring my microphone because I was traveling from the US and left Italy, and this is crazy. Anyway, feel free to call in, guys. I will take some more questions here. I definitely want to focus on doing live calls. That was my goal for this. You know what I'd really like to do on these shows? I really would like to do this live, and I mentioned this in my last YouTube live. Is I really like to do get a situation where I have like a little studio. This is like a pipe dream bucket list. Not a pipe dream. I think it'll happen, but it's a bucket list item where we have like an in-person show, and like people come to the show and we talk about a topic, and like we film and we do like a live show. That would be so cool. I think we can do some really great content in that format. So that's kind of where this is going. Someone just asked me how you can call the number. I'm not sure if I should. I don't really know. You just dial the number. I'm not sure how to answer that question. But I still love you. Okay, is there any realistic, probable future alternatives to current rake structures in online poker? I don't know what Run It Once Poker is doing. I actually don't know, but I would guess that Phil Galfon's probably doing something that is creating an environment for the players that is going to be sustainable for pros to play. And the rake would have to reflect that. And so I would look at what they're doing, and it would be interesting to see what's going on. I know you can only test it in like certain countries, and I'm not like, I don't really know what they're doing, but I would trust that they're doing something great. And yeah, so I would look into that. I'm not sure. I haven't thought deeply enough about like how to solve the rake structure of online poker, just because I'm not in the online poker business. On the business side of things, like I'm not a operator looking to start an online poker site, struggling with how to create a rake structure. So I just don't really know. I haven't put my mind to that. But I'm sure there is a way to solve it. I think PokerStars, to be fair, is a business, and they have determined that it is in their best business interest from a financial standpoint to charge what they charge. So, all right, man. What's up, buddy? What's your name? Where are you from? Welcome to the Ask Alec show.
Hey, what's going on, Alec?
What's up, man? What's your name?
Hav.
Hav?
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, Hav. What's up? Where are you from?
Canada.
Awesome. What part?
Toronto.
Cool. I want to go.
I wanted to ask you, like, what's the main the core of your actual strategy? Is it like your hand range, reading their hand range, or is it position, or what's the first thing that you consider when you're building or formulating a strategy for any tournament or cash game?
Sure. So you asked a big question and multiple questions. Like the core of my strategy and the first thing I think about, I think are different. But
Okay.
all the things you mentioned are important, and all the things you didn't mention are important. So position's important, history is important, psychology is important, fundamentals are important. Like everything plays into making a great decision. And so you need to think about it like you have you need to think about it like this. You don't need to think about it like this. I think this is the best way to think about it. Okay. Okay, you need to think about it, or try thinking about it in this way. Okay, these are the various factors you can consider. These are the various variables you can consider. Okay, and each one has a different importance. So the big one might be your hand. Like that's the main thing to consider. Like without a good hand, you can't play the hand. Like no matter what these other variables are, if you don't have a good hand, it's going to be too. And these might not be. This isn't drawn to scale, so don't quote me on this, but if you don't have a good hand, you're not going to play no matter what, because even if you have all these other things going in your favor, you're still missing a huge chunk of the pie. Does that make sense?
Correct.
There are other things which are less important, like maybe, I'm trying to think of something that's important that's not important. Like another one that's really important is position. Like, so if you have a hand and position, you're going to play you're going to make those two things like the main factors of your decisions. There's other things that are less important, like maybe your history with that opponent. It might come into play, but it's not like ultimately going to make or break your decision necessarily. Especially if people are thinking on a higher level, it's like people don't really weigh that much into history. They just sort of play their, like if the guy 3-bet you 5 hands ago, it doesn't mean that like he 3-bet you again and now he's going out for you. Like that's kind of like level 1. Maybe it means that, but probably not. It's a little bit less important. So the way to sort of think about it is there's all these different things that you need to consider when making a decision in poker. And like you need to kind of weigh each one in the moment and use all those variables to make the best decision possible. And I start with my hand, then I start with the position I'm in, or the position sort of dictates the hand that you can play. So those things kind of go hand in hand. And then I think about my opponents and like if I should adjust, after I think about my hand and the position, I think should I adjust the hand and to play wider hands or narrower hands based on who's my opponent. So who's in the big blind, who's to my left, how are the people playing? Yep. If I normally am going to fold a hand, maybe I'll raise with it because everybody's playing tight or vice versa. And so those are the 3 biggest things to consider. And that's sort of like the fundamental approach that I take to my strategy. And then I sort of go from there. And then I consider some other things some of the time, like is the guy stuck or is he tilting? Like what's his but those are the 3. Make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool, man. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you joining the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Alec.
Cheers, buddy. See you, buddy. All right, guys, taking more calls. Feel free to jump on. I kept that one short because everyone's like, the other one's too long. Or not everyone. One guy said, too long. Now we're too short. All right, cut him off. I'm like, get out of here, man. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Yeah, as far as online sites, like I know a few people asking me, or there's some chat about like specific online sites. Like I'm just not confident to tell someone to put their money on a site that like, like I would say, like we talked about this earlier, like your dollar is worth pretty much $1 on PokerStars. It's pretty damn secure. People hate the site, but one thing you can't say about it is they're going to pay. One thing you have to kind of give them credit for is they're probably going to pay their customers. And like the other sites, like they're probably like pretty safe. Your dollar is probably worth in the 90 cents or something. But I don't want to be the one that's like endorsing the site and responsible if that 10% happens. So play at your own risk. What's up, man? What's your name? Where are you from? Welcome to the Ask Alec Show.
What's up, man? What's your name? Where are you from?
You got to mute me because you're going to hear an echo.
All right. Soul from Minnesota.
Awesome, Soul. What's up? I saw you in chat. What's up, man? Nice meeting you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Real quick, my question is, how do you know a sign of a good game? Like the whole thing of finding good game selection. I already played 2-5 and 1-3, and our casino is pretty much in Philly, and Sugar House is full of regulars.
I was just there. I was just there coaching some poker. Yeah, totally.
So I was playing there for like since they opened in 2016, and now just full of regulars, and there's no new players or new people to play with. The same people over already on my show for a session.
Well, it sounds like you have two. Sounds like your question doesn't relate to your problem. Like, I think you probably know how to spot a good game. Like, if you go see 7 people you've never seen that are like, drinking beer, that's a good game. Like, right? So spotting a good game is something that like I can't really teach someone how to do that. Like, I can make stereotypes like, oh, if you see a guy with a super nice watch, he might be a VIP. Like, but I can't tell you anything you don't know about how to spot a good game. Like, generally, you don't want 7 people with sweatpants that are unshaven with headphones sitting at your table. Like, but those things are kind of like, those things are kind of obvious. But I don't know if I can help you make like better games in Philly, So like, I'm not sure if there's a question, like if that answered your question or if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
It does make sense. So do you recommend just dropping down in stakes to play like 1-2, 1-3?
No.
If there's money to make.
I recommend getting better and beating 2-5.
All right.
Like, I would like someone, it depends on how much time you have to play poker, but like someone is going to beat that 2-5 game for what another person can beat the 1-2 game for. And that person could be you if you're willing to put in the time and effort. It might not be. You might not have the time and effort, or you might not have the ambition to beat the game. Like, I love chess. I actually do really like chess, but I'm a abysmal chess player. Like, I could, like, I enjoy playing on the streets of New York City, and I pay $5, and sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But like, I'll never be a great chess player, nor do I have the ambition to be. I'm actually just okay being mediocre. But so that would sort of dictate what I should do. I don't spend much time studying chess, but it's sort of reflective of my ambition to be content with mediocrity in that sport or that subject. But in poker, I don't, I have the other ambition. I want to be, the best in the world that I can be, or the best version of myself that I can be. And so what I would do in poker is I would study and beat the 2-5 game. But I don't know what that happy medium is for you. But I think that you don't have to feel like the game is tough, I can't win, because someone in that 2-5 game is definitely going to be the best player. And that best player is definitely going to win a lot of money. He can make, 10 big blinds per hour. So if you're willing to put in the time and work, that could be you. I don't know. You got to tell me what you should do.
Well, I mostly do it with part-time, like, hobby.
Okay.
Like, I play on Friday, Mondays, on the weekend after work.
Yep.
That's about 15 hours a week.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to get out of poker?
This side income. This side's working like mostly financial freedom. So just playing on the side to have extra spending money. And
how much?
Stuff like about $20,000 a year.
Okay, great. So now you have now you're telling me something. Now I can tell you what's up, because now you just told me something. Okay, so let's break this down. You play 15 hours a week. All right. Hold on. I'm talking and doing this at the same time, so I want to just do the math on my phone. Playing 15 hours a week, and how many weeks a year do you play?
30.
30. So you play 450 hours a year, and you want to make $20,000. So you need to make $44 an hour. Okay. That makes you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So you need to make $44 an hour. Now, if you play 2-5, you need to make 9 big blinds per hour. Right? So the best players in that game are going to be making somewhere between 10, 12 BBs per hour. 15 maybe if they're world class. So if you're playing 1-2, you would need to make 22 BBs per hour at the 1-2 game, which is difficult to win at that win rate. I don't know what the rate is. You need to mute me. You need to mute me in the background.
You're muted.
Okay.
The stream is muted.
It's probably my stream. So it's going to be hard to make 22 BBs per hour at 1-2. The game would have to be abysmally soft for you to win at that win rate. So I would say you're going to need to beat 2-5. You're going to need to beat it significantly. You're going to need to be one of the top 2 or 3 players in that game. And that 15 hours that you have a week to play poker, you need to find 5 more hours where you're not wasting time. I don't know what your habits are, but there's definitely 5 hours in the week that you could find to prioritize to poker. If you really have the ambition to make 20,000 a year, you should find 10 hours a week to study poker that you're not on Netflix, on Instagram, watching videos or doing other shit, wasting time that we all do. I do it as well. That you can channel towards something that is actually your ambition, because you're never going to get there without it. If you want to win 9 BBs per hour, that's tough. I'm not going to lie to you, that's tough. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you need to be all in on making this an ambition for 2019.
All right. Thank you, Alec.
I think you could do it though, but just study hard, you know? But that's the way to think about it. You got to think about the math and what you need to win and then work backwards from there. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Good stuff, my man. Thanks for calling in. Much love, brother. Cheers. All right, guys, we dropped some tough love on there, but yeah, sorry about the background noise, guys. That might be me. I don't know if it was. Anyway, call in for next question. I'd love to answer your questions in chat too, but I'm obviously giving priority to people that call in. You got to call in. So let me scroll through some chat. I got Ricky wants some pre-flop charts. Go to consciouspoker.com and you can download my pre-flop charts if you want them. All right, we got another caller. What's up, man? What's your name? Where you're from? Welcome to the Ask Alec show.
Hello, Mr. Torelli.
What's up, man?
Hey.
What's your name? Where are you from? Welcome to the show.
I appreciate it. My name is James. I'm from Illinois, but I live in Hollywood, and
Cool.
I can't believe I'm talking to you. So thank you so very much for this opportunity, man.
Yeah,
It's
thank
real.
you. No worries, man. Thanks for calling in. What's up, man? What can I help you with?
Well, I suppose I was trying to figure out, like, in regards to your history, as far as like your development with like poker and like your understanding of it, like, you know, when you first started, like I'm like you hit roadblocks, I'm certain, right? But
Yes.
how did you just it's not how did you get past those roadblocks, but man, what made you just keep running with it, running with the game, running with your concept, your philosophies? Like, how'd you become who you are, I guess, as a poker player?
Because I found something that I wanted bad enough to overcome all of the obstacles that were in my way. So when you're the best and compete at the highest levels in the world, like you have to make all those sacrifices to get to that point. And that was always my goal. And so I knew that, like, I found something that allowed me to have that ambition because I loved it so much. And that's the point. It wasn't that I was special. It wasn't that I like, your ambition doesn't come from like you being special. It just comes from finding something that you love so much that you can't not want to be your best self. And I found that with poker. And I feel, I have to be honest, I feel concerned that you're asking, because if you find the thing that you want bad enough, you're not going to be asking questions whether or not it's the right thing. And this is the best way to think. This is the best way to think about it. Okay, poker may be that thing for you. You might just be on a downswing and questioning yourself. I had many moments when I almost quit, but I never did. I almost quit many, many times. I had times in my college dorm room when I lost the role that I had built up playing online poker, which for me was a ton of money at the time, like $30,000 I saved in high school, and I lost it in college, and I built it back up again, and all these ups and downs and all that stuff. And I almost quit so many times, and I hated poker, and I really wanted to quit, but I never did because I always wanted it. I loved winning more than I hated losing because I wanted to be the best so bad. And I wanted the lifestyle that poker allowed me to live so bad. I wanted to travel the world and play in the biggest games and be the best in the world so bad that nothing was going to get in my way. And so when you find something that you love so much, you're going to have that drive. You're not going to have to fabricate it. And so poker might not be that thing for you. And that's okay. Like I just mentioned the chess analogy. Like, chess is not that thing for me. I will never be a 1500,
Yeah.
even a 1500 rated chess player. I'll never be great. I loved tennis so much. I love Roger Federer so much. He's such an idol of mine because he's such a fucking legend. But like, I'll never be a great tennis player. I took lessons and I wanted to be good and I liked hitting on the court and I wore the little wristband. But like, I didn't start playing early enough, so that's not the best example. But like music, like I always thought it would be amazing to learn piano, and I went to Italy and I tried to learn piano and I played, but like I never got through it because my ambition wasn't to be Elton John. It was to be the best version of myself as a poker player. And so like poker might be that thing for you and you might just be on a downswing. But when you find that thing, you know, you're like, what I would implore you, how old are you?
33.
33. Okay. So you probably think you should have everything figured out right now. Like you're like, oh my God, I'm so much older than everybody. And okay, good.
Nah, not really.
Good. That's great. You have so much time. You're so young. You're 33. You have 60 more years on earth to live.
Yeah.
Like, spend the next 2 years figuring out, and maybe it's poker. If it's poker, you should be all in. And you got to rid yourself of everything else in your life. Like, I think people massively underestimate like what it takes to be successful at the highest levels at something. Like, it is so demanding to be the best at poker. It's so fucking demanding. Like, you have to like, all your life has to be engineered and dedicated and sacrificed to achieve that goal. And that's just the truth, whether it's poker or anything else you want to be. And we see people at the top make it look easy, but it's
Let me
tough.
interrupt you real quick.
Go ahead.
In regards to that statement you just made, like, as far as like I guess in a sense, like the concept of sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? Does that mean like, you know, like I live in an apartment, I got a lot of plants, I got a lot of bookshelves, I got a lot of fucking this and that. Does that mean essentially like fucking throwing all that shit in the trash and then like...
Why would you do that?
Yeah, good point. Good point. Good point. Good point.
Where are you spending your time? Like, what I would do is I would buy a book called 168 Hours. I would write down every single minute of time I spend for a week and figure out where my time is going. And I would eliminate every single thing that's not channeling towards my highest goal in life. And that might be poker for you. It might be being a musician for someone else that's watching this. Like, I don't really give a fuck what your goal is. Like, I'm just about you achieving the best version of yourself. And for a lot of people watching this, that's poker. A lot of people watching this is not poker. Like the last guy that played, last guy that called in, he only plays 15 hours a week. Like, his first priority might be his other thing that he's spending 40 hours a week doing. He wants to be the best at that. I don't know. But like, the thing is, like, you have to really simplify. You have to like focus. Like, Apple is the most profitable company in the world. They make like 6 products. They just do them insanely great. And so like, you really have to look at your life like in that way. Like, you have to do 1 or 2 things insanely well if you want to be the best. You might not want to be the best. You might be content with being like, just
I want to be the best, man.
At poker, you want to be the best?
Yeah, maybe not.
Okay. That's, at least you're honest. Respect. Like, I don't want to be the best at most things in life. Everything in life. There are times in my life where I don't even want to be the best poker player. Like, when I'm in Italy with family and like I'm hanging out, like, I don't want to be the best poker player. I just want to write my novel and I want to produce content and I want to engage with my fans and I want to go out and have an aperitivo at 5 o'clock. Like, I don't want to be the best. But there are times like when I'm in Macau where like I really am inspired to compete at the highest level. But like,
let me ask you, I mean, like, in regards to like the guys that you play in Macau, I mean, is there really that significant of a difference as far all right, first question, is there really that significant of a difference as far as like the skill level from like your average 2-3 game, which is what I'm playing, as opposed to like the games that you're playing? I mean, are people really thinking it that much differently? Because, you know, when I watch like, you know, the games like, for example, at the Bike on Live, right? When they're playing the 5-5 or fucking, I don't know, whatever. Like, I see some guys like calling with like fucking King 2 offsuit in the, and it
well,
was
you're not watching
like
watching the best in the world. You can't compare the high stakes games in Macau to the 5-5 game at the bike. You're not watching the best in the world when you watch the 5-5 game at the bike.
So it is that different, though, huh?
What you're asking me is this. This is what you're asking me to someone that's competing in at the high levels in poker. You're asking is, I want to make an analogy that makes it very clear. You're asking, is the pickup basketball game on the beach different than the NBA? And I don't mean that in any other way than just factual. Like that is awesome. The straight up
perfect. I get it.
Difference between that. And in poker, it's hard to see. Like this is the beauty and the frustration of poker. The beauty is that people can't see that difference. So I respect that a lot of people watching this think that I'm full of shit. They don't know that. They think that I'm just making this shit up to sound cool or because I want to inflate my ego or some shit. It's not true. And I don't even necessarily put myself at the category of like the top 5 in the world or something. You know, I'm not saying that I'm that player that's the best in the world. I don't think that. What I am saying is that, like, in poker, it's hard to see talent because it's hard to know what you don't know. That's the problem, and that's the beauty. If everybody knew what they don't know, nobody that cared about money would play in those games because they have no chance of winning long term. But they can win in the short term. They can make plays, and they could delude themselves into thinking that they actually have the capacity to beat someone that's better than them. But in the long term, that'll never happen. And they don't know that because they just think, oh, I can raise when I have good hands, or oh, this guy, you know, he does this. They don't understand even the plays that they make. If you see basketball, it's very obvious to you, me, and everyone else in the world that's never even dribbled a basketball that they can't do shit that they see LeBron James doing. They're like, dude, that guy is fucking good. I don't know much about basketball, but I know that I can't run that fast or jump that high or fly through the air or make magic happen with a ball. But people don't know that about poker. And so it's hard for people to appreciate or understand that level. But that's what makes the game beautiful. Because if everybody saw the level, then poker would be like chess and nobody would play because they would just be drawing dead. So we need the luck and we need that in poker. But
no, I mean, that was beautiful. That was amazing.
Thank you,
You're
man.
absolutely right. I absolutely love that analogy, you know? And I guess to like even like expand on that, I mean, you would never play like a 9-3 offsuit, but like what kind of hands are you guys playing at that high elite level? Are you playing a 9-3 offsuit?
No.
Are you guys playing like 9-5 offsuit? I mean, is it still like
no
basic fundamentals? I mean, like, what do you guys like? What separates you guys from us?
I can't get into the specifics because we're going to bore people, but it's basically like just, you know, I mean, it's just like experience, right? Like, I mean, what separates like, you know, the good people that do anything? Like, it's just, they're just more in it, you know? They just have the experience to like be better because they practice. I hope it makes sense.
I guess to be a little more specific, right? Like I play at the 2-3 game, right? And
I want to answer your next question, but I got to take some other calls because I got to wrap this up.
For sure,
I love you, man.
Yeah, man.
Good luck to you, brother.
And it's been, dude, you're so fucking awesome. It's been a pleasure, man.
Thanks, man. It's been
I'm
real.
To the rest, man. Thank you so much.
Cheers, buddy. Good luck to you. All right, man. Hope I provided some perspective there. I hope that didn't come out wrong to think that like I'm trying to make these analogies to make me sound like I'm like, you know, some superstar poker player better than everyone else. That's not where I'm going here with this at all. And I don't necessarily even put myself in the category of like some of the people that I look up to. So I'm just not even, I hope I didn't come off that way, but I just wanted people to understand really what it, like the real insight of what it's like to play poker at a high level. Call in if you guys have more questions. I'm having fun with you guys. I'm going to hang for a while. It's 8 a.m. here in Macau. Just doing it. Not sure what's on the scope for today. Appreciate all your comments. I wish I could answer more of your questions in chat, but it's a little bit hard to focus on chat when I'm in it in the call. You know, you got to be in it. Let me scroll through here and just see if something pops out. I see some comments. I missed some of the questions here in chat. Taking another call. I know we got a few call-ins. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your calls, guys. Call in again, and I will answer the first one. Caller is muted. We already talked about that. Yeah, so I'll try and answer a few questions in the chat here if I see them. Thank you guys for the comments. I appreciate it. Got us a lot of support here. Thanks, Thomas, for the kind words. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate your support. I'm glad you guys are liking the show. Good stuff. All right, we got another caller. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Sorry, someone's too late. You got to be quick. You got to be quick. You got to be quick. What's your name, man? Where are you from? Welcome to the Ask Alec show.
Hey, thank you. Brian Hussar from Pittsburgh.
Awesome. What's up? Pittsburgh's a cool city. Welcome, Brian.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Good people. What's
I'm
up?
part of your Conscious Poker. I've been on a few webinars with you.
Awesome.
Even talked to you personally a couple times on the phone.
Cool. Well, welcome back. What's up?
Yeah.
Man?
Thank you. Anyway, I'm having. This is a question about studying poker. What is the most proficient way to study poker? I feel like that I am just like chasing my tail around trying to. Thinking it, you know?
Yeah, sure.
I watch, a lot of your videos. I read books too, and like, trying to study hand ranges, and I just feel like that I'm like running around in circles trying to figure this out. And then it just feels like I'm getting more lost.
Totally. So I made this video. I'll explain it shortly here so that people are on the same page. But I made a video of the best way to study poker, and I put it on the YouTube. And there's a lot of ways, and I understand that the market's saturated and it's easy to get overwhelmed with information. Like, what should you do? Like,
exactly.
Where do you focus? Like, where do you start? It's so overwhelming. So I made this video because I think if you only have, like, I'm sensitive to the time that a lot of clients I work with are busy. They own their own companies. They play poker on the side. They're not trying to be professional. And they have, maybe it's hard for them to find an hour here and there to study poker, but they want to just get as good as they can. And so the exercise I give them is basically the one I detailed in this video, which is use something like a poker equity calculator. For poker, for Mac, you can use Poker Cruncher. If you don't have a Mac, you should buy one. But if you don't have a Mac, you could use like Poker Stove. I'm a super diehard Apple fan. So you could use Poker Stove, but you basically want a poker equity calculator. And you want to just input your opponent's range into the hand and input your hand, and then determine a few basic things, like what's the worst hand you could play in that situation? What is your equity versus your opponent's range? And you want to just run the numbers in a basic way to get more familiar with what the equities are. So for example, let me give you an example, okay? I played a hand the other day I wish I could screen share here. I got to get OBS because I'm realizing now that I need to make this more dynamic. So that is going to be an improvement I make in the future. I played a hand the other day in Macau where I have kings. I don't want to go through all the details. I don't want to bore people, but I have kings in a 3-bet pot, and the flop comes 10-7-7, and I get check raised, okay? I call. The turn my opponent bets, pretty much putting me either all in or folding, and I put it in. The turn's like a blank, bringing a flush draw. So 10-7-7-3. I put it in with kings, and he has a 7, and I lose. So what I do after that is I go home, and I say, like, did I make a mistake? Like, what's the best way to play my kings? And I enter all the range of hands that my opponent could have into the equity calculator. And then I enter my hand, and I determine whether or not I was a favorite, and if I should call, or if I should raise, or if I should fold, or whatever. So I go through the hands that I play, and I just run the numbers that way. I wish I could share my screen because I would be able to show you exactly what I'm doing, which I'll do. And I'm realizing that I need to make these more dynamic, but you live and learn. So does that make sense? You should watch that video that I dropped in on the YouTube. I think it's a great starting point for you.
I definitely will. I do have Poker Stove on my computer, and I do have Flopzilla as well.
Great. I mean, study those.
My equal lab. As soon as I downloaded Flopzilla, my equal lab uninstalled. I think I told you that before.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I do have the Poker Stove in that, and I tried to watch like videos on how to use Flopzilla, and like I watched one today actually, and from a guy named Split Suit. I don't know if you know who that guy is. Yeah. He
has some great content.
He did a pretty good video on it. Yeah. And that kind of helped me out a little bit.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Just focus on hand ranges and
Yes.
study hand histories.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Like that's
Excellent.
the 80-20 approach to studying poker. So
Okay, good. Yeah, because like you said, like there's so much information out there. I get so overwhelmed because people are like throwing these big equations at me, and then I'm not really that good at math, and like it just scares me. Like, it overwhelms me, you know.
totally understand.
And it's like I need like a good starting point where I can leave everything that I don't need, and you know, just feel like that I'm on the right track. You know.
Yep. Totally understand, man.
Okay.
Best of luck to you, man. Thanks
All
for
right,
calling
well,
in.
thank you.
Much love. See you, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks for the
Bye-bye.
support. See ya. All right, guys. Feel free to call in. I missed a few callers, so go ahead and call back. Let me drop in the number again. Hold on. Cool. Try to answer some questions in chat. Well, I can. You guys should call me, man. Call me so we could talk. Let me see. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate the kind words. Scrolling up in chat, trying to get a few of these back questions. What's your idea on transporting money around the world while traveling poker and playing full-time online? Yeah, I mean, again, I can't vouch for like Skrill or NetTeller. I know they've been around a long time and they seem like huge sites that are probably pretty safe. So you could try those. It seems like a great way to do it. Good stuff. Hey, man, my name is Alex Torelli. Welcome to the Ask Alex Show. What's up, buddy? What's your name? Where are you from?
Aren't you live right now?
Yeah, what's up, man? You're on the Ask Alex Show.
What? So how are you still talking and I'm on the phone with you?
Because this show is live and you just called me.
Oh, hey, I just want to know, what's the highest stakes over there? Let me see what that runs regularly.
It just sort of depends. So it really just depends on the situation. The economy is always changing, and there'll be like, you know, some days you'll have a big game, some days you won't. But I think you get 50, 100 all the time. You get 100, 200 all the time in Hong Kong dollars. So you divide by 8, basically close to 8 to get to US. And then you get 300, 600 most times. And then occasionally you get 1K, 2K, just depending on who's in town.
Okay, so I've heard that, but win is the best place, right?
Win, yeah. So where I've always played.
Oh, okay. So, so occasionally 300, 600 runs.
Yeah, it just depends, man. It might run every day for a week. It might not run for, you know, it just depends.
Okay, the budding, the bud doesn't get higher, does it get higher? Or
Yeah.
you have to request it?
Well, you could request anything, but it just depends on whether there's someone in town that everybody wants to play with. That's how poker works, right? So yesterday, for example, 1K, 2K was running. So there was a 1K, 2K game because there was someone in town that everybody wanted to play with. And that's how poker works.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I know you're not about to give me a exact answer, but when is the best time around the year, like to be, would be best to play?
Best time of year to be in Macau?
Yeah.
When the least amount of other pros are in Macau. And I don't know when that is because that's just a little bit of luck. But one popular time to come here is during Chinese New Year, which is the end of January, because, you know, the theory is that a lot of people have time off in Asia that are very wealthy. And what do they like to do? Come to Macau and gamble. Now, everybody else in the world knows that, so all the pros come here too. It's kind of tantamount to going to the World Series going to play poker in Vegas during the World Series. Sure, there are a lot of people with a lot of money, but there are also a lot of pros waiting to get that money. So it's sort of, it's not a secret that Chinese New Year is a popular time to play poker in Macau, but that's a popular time, and that's something to consider if you want to check that out.
Okay, but here's another important question. So like, I'm from the States, and like say I don't want to go over there. Listen, wouldn't it be a bad idea to bring more than 10 G's in cash?
Well,
like I'm trying to bring more, but like I know it's not. I mean, it's not possible, but you get held up in customs, right?
Well, you could declare money. You know, you could. Like,
okay.
There's nothing illegal about it. You just do it legally. But
right. Okay. No. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, and what about the exchange currency over there? They do it at the actual
The casino,
place?
yeah, the win exchanges currency. Yeah, you give them US dollars, they give you Hong Kong dollars.
Yeah, but do they charge you a fee or anything like that? They do, right?
They're a business.
All right. What I also overheard that they don't do it like unless you give them for increments of 2,000. Is that right?
I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't know. You could call the win and ask.
Okay,
I'm
but
not
is the
sure.
game legit? Like, there's not any scams or weird things?
I think the Macau game is the safest game I've ever played.
Yeah, you said the safest?
Safest in
For
terms of
that way?
like just the way the casinos run, the fairness, the regulations, the strictness of regulations are probably the strongest in Macau anywhere I've ever played in the world.
Okay, so how do you usually go? Do you like listen, do you fly to Hong Kong first and then you take the jet or the turbo thing over, or do you just go straight Macau?
Yeah, you just take a ferry from Macau, Hong Kong to Macau. You could just take a ferry.
Yeah, isn't there like an airport over there too?
There's an airport.
From the...
Hey, there's a great service called Google. You could ask it all these questions. I mean, I'm not. Man, just hop on a plane and come.
Over here?
What?
I'm asking how are the 100, 200 games like compared to over here to 2.5?
It depends on the day. It just depends, man. Like sometimes you get great games. I also honestly don't really play 100, 200, so I'm not really that in touch with how those games are. I played one session the other day while waiting for a different game, hopping in. It was good,
Okay,
but it's just variance, like I don't know.
What do you play?
Usually 3-6 and up.
Okay, so how's the 3.6 compared to 2.5?
Well, 300, 600 is like, 35, 70 US. So it's obviously a lot. It's a world of difference. Kind of like the street basketball game versus the NBA game difference. I mean, it's like a different universe because the players are.
The players good.
Players are good. The pros are good.
Oh.
I mean, they didn't get to play the biggest game in that runs regularly in the world by being bad. Like markets are very efficient. So when you have high stakes pros playing in the biggest games, then they're there because they can beat the other players that are playing in those games. So like there's bad players that come too, no doubt. Poker games don't run unless there's a reason to run. So there's obviously that aspect, right? Like you see the online poker economy where you see like a fish that sits down and everybody wants to sit. Like that's how poker works in life. But the pros are very good, man. So the only way you're gonna ever know if it's right for you is to just come to Macau and check it out. So like I can't answer all these questions like in a way that's gonna help you.
Yeah, definitely. I have to experience it, but like since you like been there, like maybe I have like a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Up, you know what I mean?
For sure. But that's kind of like the
table. There's like 9 seats. Like how many Asians would you say there would be?
I don't know. I don't know,
Okay.
man. Like it depends on the game. Depends on the table. Like some of the Asian pros are very good too.
Okay.
So I think you're kind of underestimating some of the talent out there too. Anyway, man, I got to take another call. Much love to you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. He gets some interesting questions on the Ask Alec show. He was obsessed about the games in Macau. All right, guys, call in. I hope I answered those the best way possible. What's up? Hey, man. My name's Alec. Welcome to the Ask Alec show. What's your name? Where are you from?
What's up? John from Kansas City.
Cool, man. What's up, John?
Hey, I just wanted to kind of continue the information about, what the money transfer is like in Macau and the riskiness of it, considering that it's technically part of China, and does the government take anything, or how that works?
I am not the best person to ask because I'm just not involved with the politics enough to know like all those sorts of things. My experience has just been safe. Your money at the Win is as safe as the Win Corporation, in my opinion. But again, I'm not like that's just my understanding. But
yeah, but but when you withdraw your money, do you get everything that was in there, or do you, does the government take a little cut, or I mean, and do you know anybody who ever lost anything by putting like $1 million into an account at a Macau casino?
No, I've never heard of that happening. But it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. It just means I don't know. Never heard of it.
Wow, that's great. Well, that makes me feel a lot better about it. Maybe I'll see you down there.
Good luck, my man. I'll see you soon. Cheers, buddy.
Oh, thanks, man. Bye.
A lot of Macau questions. Yeah, guys. I think the Macau questions are a little beyond my super expertise in terms. I know you guys are curious about Macau and stuff too. I'm not. I guess the best way to explain it is I think people think it's like some mystical being. It's like it's a casino that's the win, and your experience at that casino is going to be like your experience at the win in Vegas. I don't really know. I guess I understand people don't see it that way because it's kind of odd. The fact that it's geographically in Macau makes it seem like there's some mystical aura to the situation, but it's really just like playing at the win because that's what you're doing. Anyway, feel free to call in. Happy to take more questions. Ideally not about Macau. I guess there are questions about Macau because it's in the video title. That is a very good point, Justin. Touche. Very fair. That is a good point. I should advertise correctly. But anyway, as far as the logistics of Macau, I might not be the best person to ask about those sorts of things. So anyway, I'd like to stay away from that because why am I not in the Bahamas? Because I'm in Macau, man. I'm a high stakes cash game player, and I think that's where it's at. I like tournaments. I mean, they're cool, but cash games are where it's at, man. All right, got a new question. New caller. What's up, man? What's your name? Where are you from? Welcome to the Ask Alec Show.
What's up, man? What's your name? Where are you from? Welcome to the Ask Alec Show.
You got to mute me. Hey, you got to mute me. Otherwise, you're going to have echo.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
What's up?
What's up?
Hey, man.
Dude, I'm a big fan of yours. I watch you all the time. I'm an up-and-coming poker player. This is crazy. I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Anthony. I'm from Michigan.
Oh, dude, a lot of Michigan callers today. What's up, Anthony?
Yes, sir. Detroit in the house. No, but I got a question for you. So, what when you were up and coming, now you got all these hand breakdowns and whatnot.
Totally.
Who was your who did you look up to? How did you study the game? Me personally, my favorite players are Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan and Patrick and those guys from that era.
Yeah.
Who was the people you looked up to?
Well, when I first started playing poker, it was 2003, and the only reference I had for poker players were the people on TV. So I looked up to Phil Hellmuth and Doyle Brunson and Daniel Negreanu and Phil Ivey. Those are people that I looked up. So I read Play Poker Like the Pros. I read Super System. These people were legends to me. But when I started actually getting involved in the poker scene, the people that I became friends with were I became friends with Andrew Roble and Tom Dwan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I met them at the Bahamas in 2005. So, that was more than a decade ago. And, I played and learned poker from them. I remember the first time I ever saw Tom playing online poker was 2005. We were in the lobby of the Bahamas and he was sitting on his own. And I sat down next to him and he was he was 3-betting people without strong hands. And I was like, what? Really? What the hell are you doing? That's crazy. Why would you do that? And cause you could at that point, you could just win at poker by raising with aces and kings and queens and betting 3 times. And you just printed money. So I was why would you ever do that? He's like, oh, because, you could, and I was like, whoa, wow, that's amazing. I mean, nobody knew hand range wasn't hand range was invented by I think Cole South in 2007. And I remember, Cole and I played poker in Prague together. We played high stakes poker online, and we were both there playing high stakes poker online and like in live tournaments. So like I just made friends with like some of the people that I think are the best in poker that I really respect and look up to, and I got to like lucky to like absorb information and learn from them.
Well, that was something I was going to ask too. Sorry to cut you off, but
Sure.
Was that the people that you idolize, like me? Like I idolized like Phil Ivey. That guy to me is like, he's one of my idols. Like when you met these guys, was it like starstruck at all? Like the people that you looked up to? Because now you're playing high stakes with all of these guys. At least back then.
Yeah, like a really cool moment was like meeting, playing in the big game in Macau with Phil Ivey. Like that was really cool because like here I am on the biggest stage in the world, playing in the biggest game in the world with the best in the world, and like, we went out to dinner afterwards, and like that was just like
wow,
that was really cool because then I had that moment where I was like wow, I actually. And I mean this I don't mean this in an arrogant way. I just mean it like I actually had a moment where I said to myself, like, wow, I became the person that I wanted to become in poker.
Right.
And that was like,
awesome.
That was just an incredible feeling. And I don't know how to say that. I really, truly don't mean that to sound arrogant. I just meant it like I never dreamed, you play well, like I'll take a piece of you if you want or something. Like I was just like, wow. Like,
right.
Like, that was incredible. Or like I met Daniel, who's, by the way, Phil is an incredibly guy, like super cool, super humble, super down to earth. Like that is what made the experience cool, is that he was like way cooler than I would have ever thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
Like way more funny, way more down to earth, way more just like, he wasn't like, if you didn't know him, he wasn't Phil Ivey. You wouldn't expect him to have like, there was no like persona around him. He was just a really cool guy. Or like Daniel.
But
like,
that's the thing. He doesn't treat like the fame thing. Like he doesn't think he's better than people like that. That's not something that he ever cared about, I think, from what I hear at least.
Totally. It's totally true. And like Daniel, like I was in Monaco with Daniel. We were playing the high roller, and we went out to Az together, which is a city like near Monaco. Mm-hmm. And it was me, him, and my wife. And we went out for the day and took a day trip and went hiking. And like, it was so cool. Because I was like, we were colleagues, we were like playing on the same level, but like there's a moment where you take a step back from it and you're like, wow, like I looked up to this guy for like 10 years. Yeah. And like you have to take a step back in that time and like just sort of take it in. And that was like a little bit overwhelming to me in a way, because I just never imagined that. But anyway, I'm sharing stories that are meaningful to me. I'm not sure this is interesting to you, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But it's really cool that they were as cool or cooler than you would think. And I have nothing but great things to say about both of them. The people I looked up to, at least.
That's great.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it, buddy. Good luck to you.
I'm a big fan. Keep doing you, man. I'll keep watching.
You got it, man. Cheers, buddy. Thanks, everyone, for the support. Just like to share things that I hope are interesting. Yeah, that was a really surreal experience. Man. Yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm really like, I need to take, it's easy for it. It just reminds me I need to take more time just to be grateful every day for poker and what's given me. It's really an amazing thing. All right, guys, feel free to call in. Happy to answer a few more questions. Having fun. We've been going a little while. We've been going, hanging out with you guys. It's cool. This is great. I really, really like this format. I would love to do this more often. All right, let me scroll up. We got a bunch of people talking here in the chat. It's hard to answer chat questions because it's like I can't talk while I'm doing it. I have to like focus and read, and then people are like watching me read, and I don't know if that's interesting. I don't really know what's interesting, really. I'm just trying to have fun and answer questions. That's why I think you guys calling in is the best way, because I feel like the questions that you have, a lot of other people have, they just maybe don't get the chance to ask them, and then everybody can get their questions answered, hopefully that way. So feel free to call again, guys. I know a few of you called and I didn't get a chance to answer. I hope you're still around. So yeah, what else is new? Maybe answer long texts, not just phone calls. That's a good idea. I don't know if, I guess you guys could text the number too. Yeah, sure, why not? That would be cool. You could text in your questions and I can answer those. But I guess that's the same thing as chat. So I think the call formats are the best. Hey man, what's up? What's your name? Where are you from?
That would be cool. You could text me.
Hello?
Hey man, what's up? Hello?
Hey man, you got to mute me in the background. Otherwise you're going to have, noise.
Yes, I did.
Oh, awesome, man. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Isan. I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Oh, I love Portland. I was there in June last year. It's a beautiful city. Amazing place.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Lucky to live there. What's up, man?
So I have a question for you, Alec. I'm 37. I'm a part-time engineer with like 18 to 20 bucks an hour pay.
Cool.
And I also have a side business on eBay selling laptops, probably making like 40 to 50K a year.
Okay.
And actually, my passion is poker. I'm just trying that. I used to be a full-time engineer. That's why I switched to part-time, and I want to quit that and just become a pro. And I play like mostly 1, 2, and 2, 5 here in Portland. And I've had a few like 5-figure scores past couple of years in tournaments.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know how to like become a pro or semi-pro and then go like beat the 2-5 game or maybe 5-10. And how do I start? Where do I go from here? You know,
a lot of hard work and studying is what you do.
Okay, I hear that all the time, but how do you start? Like, but what do you mean by studying?
Well, I dropped a video here, the best way to study poker. This is some free content that we have on that I think you should start with. Here's a great exercise you can do to study poker. And, I would recommend, are you subscribed to ConsciousPoker.com? We have great free content for subscribers. We have great free content on our blog too.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So if you like the free content at Conscious Poker, you like some of the stuff we put out, a great resource for you, I think, would be our pro membership. And it's a, hang on a second. Sorry, I'm getting a few calls.
Okay.
A great resource for you would be our pro membership, which you can learn more about here. You get monthly group coaching with me, which is awesome. We get on a video call like this where I could screen share. And I screen share exactly my thought process in the hands that I play in the biggest games. So I'll walk you through literally like what I'm thinking in the hands. I walk you through the math behind the situation. So some of the things of like how I study poker, I'll walk you through that in a video conference call, and you can have questions answered like this, but in a working environment. Like now we don't really talk poker strategy. It's not really the format for this show, but we'll actually do a show where we'll go in the lab and I'll show you exactly how to improve your hands and study. That's a monthly group call. You get a new video every week where it's like the hand of the day on steroids, where I'll actually be showing you in the lab how I study poker, how I review poker. And you also get a private forum with a members only area where you can submit questions on Slack or Facebook, and it's moderated by myself. I'm in there answering questions on my phone through Slack and whatever, and Facebook on a daily basis, as well as a Conscious Poker coach who is a great winning player, and he answers questions as well to help you out. And then there's a course in there as well called 4-Step Foundation, which is how to hand read, how to put your opponents on a hand range, and basically how I think about poker and read. And there's some exercises to do in there as well. So we have a backlog of videos for the over the past year since we launched the pro membership program, and it's really a great resource. And I think that would really, really help you to like improve your game and study poker. And it's very reasonable and affordable for the stakes that you're playing and for the ambition that you have. So I don't want to like, be sitting here like plugging my product the whole time, but I think for where you are, like I genuinely feel confident saying to you that that would be something I think you would benefit from. You can cancel anytime if you don't like it, but give it a try. And I think that would help if you're really looking for that next level.
Okay. Yes, so my next question is, should I just quit like my part-time job and my business and eBay and just focus on poker?
Yeah, that was the real
100% of that.
That was the real question for you to ask, and I'm glad you brought that up. So the real question I have for you is, why are you working for $18 or $20 an hour when you have a business making $50K a year? Why don't you scale the $50K a year business to $100K and just play poker? Like, I don't understand. And just play poker on the side. Why don't you scale the business from 50 to 500?
I mean, scaling that business, I've never thought about it because, I mean, I got my master's and I was hired by the same, school, and that's how it started. Or was it, full-time engineer at school, and then I found like this side business on eBay and poker at the same time. So I had to like put some of my time into those two. I mean, the business on eBay and the poker. So I had to cut off the time from my real job, which was being a part-time engineer. That's why engineer cut it to part-time. And the question is, yeah, you're right. If I'm only making $80 an hour, I probably should quit that job. But I want to be sure that's not the wrong decision that I'm making. Like at 37, I want to be sure that I can go pro or semi-pro and make a living after poker. No?
Can I just tell you what I would do if I was in your spot? Do you mind? I would stop playing poker, and I would focus intermittently, meaning short term, on my business. And I would go all in on my business. I would keep my job until I was stabilized the business. But my first priority in life would be to stabilize that business. And I would get that business to making $100K a year as fast as possible. I would spend all of 2019 doing that, and I wouldn't do anything else. I wouldn't watch Netflix. I wouldn't listen to the Ask Alec show. I mean, you should listen to the Ask Alec show on social media. But that's the only thing you should do, is listen to Ask Alec and scale your business. And I would focus on all my attention on that. I would have no distractions. I wouldn't go out. I would just do nothing except that, because that is your ticket to complete freedom in your life. You can do whatever the fuck you want in life if you make $100K a year online. And I mean that honestly. Like, people look at my life and think like you have to make a ridiculous amount of money to live a life where you're traveling the world full time. Like, if you make $100K a year and you control your time, you do whatever the fuck you want if you're smart with your money. So I would focus all my attention on that. And when I hit that benchmark, I would set goals for myself. I would figure out exactly how much my ideal lifestyle costs, which you could download these sheets at alectorelli.com to use the exact financial system I use to figure out my ideal cost of living and get my finances in order. It's totally free. And I would focus my energy on that business. And then I would quit my job when my business was stable. And then I would play poker on the side. And I would make extra money playing poker, but I wouldn't need to, because my business fuels my life. And that's a really great spot to be, because you know what's cool? It's cool to be able to play poker, but it's not necessarily cool to have to play poker. And I think people think that it's cool to be a professional poker player, but it is a lot of stress relying on a high variance job to pay bills if you're grinding it out at 2.5 and 5.10. It is a lot of stress. If you're not willing to go all in on your business that's stable, making $50K a year, you are not going to be willing to go all in on playing poker. So poker is always going to be your side hustle, and that's a responsible place for it to be. When you have a business and making $50K a year, I would do everything I can to make that business make $500K a year. Because the hardest part of a business, they asked a billionaire what the hardest part of becoming a billionaire was. You know what he told them? The first 100K. The hardest part about a business is making it profitable. Scaling a business from 50 to 500 is so much easier than 0 to 50. So you should focus all of your fucking energy on that, in my opinion.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
that's the truth. You know, but so you mean just completely quit poker for now?
Yes, it'll be there when you're done. But you will be so much happier when your life is completely financially free and you're set up for the rest of your life, because you have a stable business that's providing all of your income, and all that time that you have channeled towards your job, you could channel towards poker in the future if your business gets to where it needs to be. But the business is the golden ticket. You have an asset that 99% of people in the world would kill for. Don't waste it. What is your business, my man? What are you selling? You're selling shit on eBay?
Oh
Yeah, I sell like electronics and laptops on eBay.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason you can't scale what you're doing 10x. I don't know what you do or how you do it, but if you're making 50, there's enough people in the world that want to buy electronics that you can make 500. You just need to figure out how to do it. You should spend all your time on that business, my man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's possible, but yeah, as you mentioned, I have to figure out the way to scale it up, you know.
Then you also have to not give a fuck about what anyone else thinks, because there's probably a lot of societal pressure on you being an engineer and you quitting your job and having a degree, and there's
sorry to interrupt you, but how did you know that? That's my main reason that I kept that part-time engineer.
Yeah, because I study people for a living, man.
Keep asking me that you got like a graduate degree, you should stay with like engineering stuff and like that, you know.
Yeah, because you probably care about the opinion of your parents more than you care about the opinion of yourself. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's why. Because in order for you to do that, the opinion that you have in your head has to be louder than everyone else's in the world combined. So when I wanted to quit, when I wanted to drop out of college to play poker, I was 18 years old. You know how many people told me that I was making the right decision? Zero.
Yeah.
Zero people. Zero. There wasn't one. There wasn't a single person that was like, yes, it's a great fucking decision. You should drop out of your scholarship at SMU and go play poker for a living. This was like 15 years ago when nobody was playing poker either. There wasn't like, there was a few people on television playing poker, but it wasn't like what it is today. But even today, nobody would say that was a good decision, because most of the time it's probably not. But I knew that I had an ambition to be the best in the world. And I knew that to get there, I had to take this leap right now or I would never do it. I also knew that in a year, I could go back to being a college student as easily as you could go back to being an engineer. And I knew that the only reason that I wouldn't take this action is because I was afraid of what other people would say about me if I failed. And that's when I said, fuck it. And you're still living in that fear more than you want to do what you want to do, so you're not taking action. But when that pain gets big enough, or when you actually get to a place where your confidence is high enough in yourself that you don't give a fuck what other people think, because you live only inside your own head. I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I just mean that in an intuitive, positive place that you're coming from. Then you're going to be in the position to make that leap. But you got to get to that place, man, because you're afraid about the opinions of other people that you don't know, or that whose opinions don't really matter. Like, I love and respect that you have a great relationship with your parents, or that you're close to them, but like, what they want for your life doesn't matter as much as what you want for your life. That's the game. And you have to be able to execute on that.
All right, man.
Much love to you, brother. Watch Gary Vee.
Yeah, thanks so much.
His content's great. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Good luck to you, buddy. See you, bud. Man. It felt sense. There has to be a reason, and I felt like it was that societal pressure. So many people I talk to deal with that in poker. I get that so often, where people are like, oh, I want to do this, but what if this, and what if I fail, and what if that? Man, there's so much of that going on that I was just lucky that my parents really instilled into me self-confidence that I could do whatever I want. Actually, when I was a kid, my mom gave me this little plaque to read, and it said, I am the only unique me that will ever be. I have a power to make a difference in this world. And I listened one other phrase, and I just read that every single day. And like, that really just instilled confidence in me that I can make it with whatever I wanted in life. And I think that is like the best thing that a parent can instill in a kid, is this idea that to believe in yourself, because ultimately, like, you have to have that conviction in yourself, because no one's going to have it for you. In fact, everyone's going to tell you you shouldn't do the thing that you want to do because it's too risky, because they're all afraid that they're living in their own heads, that they're not doing the thing they want to do. So they're doing the job they hate, or the thing that they feel like they have to do because that's what society tells you to do. And it's all just a load of bullshit. Let's go. What's up, man? What's your name? Where are you from?
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Arash, and I'm originally from Iran, but I live in Germany, actually.
Awesome. Welcome to the show, Raj.
Thank you. I just had a question. I started playing poker 2 years ago. Now I'm 34. and
Cool.
I found the game cool, and I thought I can make a progress in this game.
Yeah.
And do something with this game. After 2 years, I can say I'm one of the best players, one of the maybe 5 or 10 best players in the casinos here in Berlin.
Good for you, man.
After just 2 years.
Awesome.
And I have the same ambition when you talk about the time when you was 18.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's possible for this age to starting and trying to do something or not.
What age? You're 34. You have 60 years to live. What can't you do at 34? Who's telling you that you can't be a pro poker player at 34?
Nobody, and actually, I don't hear to anybody. I just hear to myself. But
okay.
Pro players like you, it's important to have their opinion.
I think you could do it if you're the best player and you have the ambition and you're responsible. I think you can do it. Why not? 34, 44? Like, if you look at the list of CEOs, hold on a second. If you look at the list of some of the biggest companies in the world, some of the best entrepreneurs created their businesses when they were like later in their life. And people assume that it's like, you have to do something when you're 20 because they see society tells them that athletes, start when they're young, and they're like, the tendency is to think, Taylor Swift had 4 platinum records when she was 20. Like, I'm so old, I'm behind, right? Or like, but it's just not true. Like, I mean, some people do that, but some people don't have grand discoveries in life until they're late. Look at this link. Ray Kroc founded McDonald's at 52. I mean, 52. You're 34. Like, look at all the presidents of the U.S. Like, nobody's president until they're in the 50s or 60s.
I mean, if you ask the same question about the chess, I'm gonna answer you. It's too late.
Yeah, there's certain things in life when it's too late. That's a great question. There's certain things in life that you're drawing dead for. Like you're never going to be, 34. You're never going to be a great tennis player. You're just drawing dead. Mm-hmm. But there are most things in life you're not drawing dead for. Business, you're never drawing dead with age. And
is it the poker one of them?
No. Because it's a mental game, and and it's a people game, and you're just not drawing dead at 34. There's no way I would say that. If you're already one of the best in Berlin, I was just out in Berlin in October. I was coaching some poker there, and yeah, like if you're already one of the best in a competitive market, then you might not become the best in the world. You might not become like that level. Maybe you're not, but you don't necessarily need to be.
That's my ambition, actually. I try to be one of the best in the world, actually.
Yeah, but you might not. But I don't think it's because you're 34. It might be because you end up having different priorities in life, where you have a family and you have kids, and you say it's your ambition, but then you settle down and have a family.
On poker.
Yeah, great. If you dedicate the next 5 or 10 years to your life, and you are, you have some of the raw talent component, and you have the patience and the discipline, and you commit 10 years to working on something, you could become an expert. Mm-hmm. Totally.
But sometimes I'm confused when a player like you gonna say in long term you're not gonna be a winning player at the poker.
Who's not gonna be a winning player?
You said about 20 minutes ago when you talked with the guy from Canada, I think, or Michigan. You told him people don't understand. People don't know what they don't know. If they know what they don't know, so they would not play poker. Because they're not going to be a winning player at the
Totally.
in long term.
Yeah, but I mean, most people aren't, but there will be some people that make it. You know, like there will be some people that reach those levels.
It depends on luck, or depends on trying.
There is some luck involved. Like, I mean, if you want to win a tournament poker, there's luck. Like, there's so much luck in tournament poker that you have to get lucky to win a bracelet. Like, you could be the best, but you also have to get lucky. But in terms of, like, if you just want to make a living playing cash games, like, the best players will win if you manage your money correctly. The best players will win long term. So, you have to be smart. But I think you should go for it. Like, you're never going to know what you're capable of unless you try. So you could sit here and, we could pontificate all day, but the reality is, unless you spend the next 5 years of your time being all in on poker, saving up money, making sacrifices, traveling to other places, maybe moving to another city where the games are more stable, like, all those things you're going to have to do. Maybe postpone having a family. Like, is that how bad you want it? I'm not telling you to do that, but is that how bad you want it? Like, I don't know. But those are the things you're going to have to do to make poker work at the highest levels. Especially when you're in the coming up stage. Especially when you're in the stage where you need to be all in. Maybe you could do both. I don't know, but I would give it a shot.
I don't know what can I do after this. After this, I found the game. It's my thing. It's the stuff I'm gonna have my main focus on. After that, I don't know. After poker, what can I do actually now? I don't have any idea. What can I do if I don't play poker?
I don't know either, man. I wish I could help answer that, but I think I didn't have that idea either. Granted, I was only 18. What?
There's a big difference between you and me. I'm at the beginning. I'm a beginning. I'm a start point. I still have a lot to work on.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to do if poker didn't work when I was 18. I had no idea. I mean, granted, I was 18, but I still didn't know what I was going to do. If you're comfortable spending the next 5 or 7 years of your life, or 3 years or 2 years, working on something and maybe having it not work out and being right in the same place that you are now, 5 years older, then that's the decision you have to make. Like, if you're 39 or 37 and you still have no idea what you're going to do with your life and your financials are still in the same place, or maybe worse because you lost the money you made playing poker, taking a shot, how would you feel? If you're okay with that worst case scenario, then give it a go. And just accept, you have to embrace the unknown, that you're not going to know what you're going to do with your life. But if you're all in on poker, you're not going to have time to figure out what else you're going to do because you're going to be all in on poker. I didn't know what I was going to do if poker didn't work. All I knew was that right now I was going to try poker. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm 40. All I know right now is what I'm trying to do at 30. But I have to commit all into what I'm doing now. Otherwise, I'm never going to get to that next level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, man. Good luck to you.
My main question was that, is it possible to do that, or you need a luck?
There is luck involved.
That was my main question.
There is luck involved, but you can highly stack the odds in your favor. There's always an element of luck.
There's a luck involved, but how you can count of luck?
There's luck in life, man. Like, look. If you want to be, Facebook, like, is Mark Zuckerberg the best? Is Mark Zuckerberg the best CEO of all time? Maybe. Sure, he's maybe one of the best. But there's also an element of luck to create a company that is that big, that it's the right time, that he was in the right place, that long-term luck will become less and less important of a factor. But there is an element. And if you want something with no luck, I mean, you're not in the right planet. There's just luck. But, like, if you're worried, if you're hung up, if you're not taking action because you're worried about the excuse of luck, then it's just an excuse. Because nobody that ever wanted to do something didn't try because there was luck involved. I mean, that's not a fair excuse. So you got to kind of just embrace whatever hand the universe has dealt for you and try and focus all your attention on playing it the best way possible. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, my man. Good luck to you, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
See you.
And special thank because your videos and your analysis actually helped me most.
Awesome. I really appreciate that. More good content coming your way.
Good
Stay
luck,
tuned,
man.
man. Thank you. Cheers, buddy. All right, guys. I am going to take a 30-second bathroom break. I'll be right back, and I will take another caller in a few minutes. 1 second. What's up, guys? All right. Taking some more questions. Appreciate everybody's patience. It's been a long time on the show. Oh, you want to see the view? All right. Let's go. So this is Macau, my view from the Mandarin. It's beautiful here. That's the Macau bridge that connects Macau to Taipa. That is the highest bungee jump in the world, or maybe the second one. And you can't really see, but that way is the Wynn and the One Central Tower where I used to live. So it's beautiful. I really want to do some epic content from here next year where I like show you guys around. The thing is that like because it didn't really compete at the the highest level at something, and then you also want to produce an amazing vlog. Like, it's really hard to do both, and so it's like it's hard to get those cinematic shots and film myself and like set up the tripod and film myself walking and like all these different things that it's difficult. And so I'd love to film some epic content from Macau, but it's just like there's so many things I'm working on out here. I'm playing poker. I'm coaching a lot of poker. I have clients that I'm working with here in Macau that are coming in from different places. And so it's just like I'm busy. Meaning of my necklace. It's a good question. So this is our logo at Conscious Poker, and this is a necklace I created. First and foremost, I think it's beautiful, and I like wearing things that I enjoy and I feel confident in. But secondly, you could open it and you can smell it because we put our essential oils in this necklace. And so something that's really worked well for me is whenever I'm at the table and I lose focus, like I'm frustrated or I'm tilted or I'm just, I'm upset about a hand, or I'm like, just notice my mind wandering, or I'm in a big pot and like it's really important to pay attention. Like, I'm in a 3-bet pot and the dealer is about to deal those cards, and that moment of adrenaline when like you're getting all excited, but you really need to be focused and make a really good decision at a high level when it counts the most. I just take a deep breath and go like this, and I inhale our essential oils, which I really enjoy. They got made by we sought out the highest quality oils that we could, and we created 2 different blends. One is for fast focus, when you need to focus really intently and you want to be, high level performing. And another one is for calm, when you are on tilt and you want to really regain that sense of calm and peace. And so you could put a drop or 2 of the essential oil inside the necklace, and it can serve a practical purpose as well as an aesthetic purpose. So those are something you can get at consciouspoker.com. Check those out. They're some cool stuff. I really like them. They work for me. And so I was taking essential oils around with me at the table and like putting them on my forehead and my temples, but it was like annoying. You can't put them on every hand, and then it wears off, and then sometimes it like gets in your eyes, or sometimes it's too strong, and like it's kind of like, your hands get dirty and you have to like put it on here. I'm like, I need a way to bring this around with me. Like, how can I bring this with me in a way that I can like just have it all the time? And so I come up with the idea of, I'm like, wow, I want to create a necklace as well, because I love wearing necklaces. I want to wear a necklace that showcases our brand. And I was like, wow, what if the necklace did something? Like, necklaces are just aesthetic, but what if the necklace actually had a purpose? And what if I could actually use it practically while I'm at the table to make better decisions? And so I created this necklace, and I'm really proud of what we did. And I love it. I wear it every time I play poker, and it works for me, and I like it. Opinion on meditation: it's probably the best habit I've ever adopted in my life. That's a big statement for me, because I'm like crazy about morning routines. I'll show you. But meditation is the single best thing I do every day. And I mean that with more and more confidence the more and more I do it. The first month is kind of like, but it's like exponential progress. Like, I've been doing it for 2 years, and I've increased my time per day from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And it has been, it's a complete game changer for me personally. There's not many things that I do that are like, you can use big words like people throw around like, oh, it's life-changing. It's life-changing. It really, really is for me. It's been profound. You learn a lot about yourself. And I think that's scary for some people to live in their own mind, because you actually are forced to be aware of the thoughts that you're having, instead of just instead of the movie of your life playing, you're actually like in the director's seat, and you can say cut, and you can say, wow, I didn't realize that was the movie that was playing, or that was the person that I was, or that was the way I responded in that situation, or that was the way I acted, and that was the way that my thought pattern was. And it is unbelievable. As far as apps, I recommend Headspace and Waking Up by Sam Harris. Anyway, what's up, man? What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Quan from Maryland. How you doing?
What's your name? Sorry.
Quan
from Maryland. What's up, man? Welcome to the Ask Alec show.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, my man. Feeling good. How you doing today?
I'm all right, man. Just want to answer a couple. It may be too personal, but you don't have to answer if you want to. But what was your best winning session for the year?
Well, the year's only been 4 days, so my best winning session is 40,000 or something, whatever it was. The year's been like 4 days, so it's not that much. But I'm not comfortable answering my best winning session ever. That I can't share those personal details.
Okay. How about this? Have you had? Well, that's obviously. Let me see what else I want to ask you.
No problem.
What is that? Trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. Oh, is it what amount
Stay
do
calm,
you
buddy.
think would be comfortable? What amount do you think would be comfortable to stay in Macau and play for a living?
Wow, that's a tough question. Well, it depends on, you have to consider your costs of being here. So one thing I would, whether it's Macau or anywhere else in the world, one thing I would think about is the costs of going there. So, the flight, the transportation costs, the food costs, the apartment or the hotel costs, and deduct that from your hourly rate and your win rate. And then I would think about what the stakes are that you want to play. And then, you want at least 30 buy-ins for those stakes conservatively. I mean, not conservatively, aggressively. You want, a decent amount of buy-ins for those stakes. So, work backwards from there.
Okay, I have another question. Okay, so
Let's do it.
see. Okay, I'm a 2-5 player, and I usually come in like with the max buy-in, and I only reload one time. And here's the issue with me, and I'm trying to see if a pro, maybe like you, can give me an advice. So I usually come in, and I would win like let's say 4 or 5K like at the 2-5 table, but I always end up losing when I'm going home because I don't get up. So how would I know that when's the best time to get up?
The best time to get up is when you first have the thought about whether or not you should get up. So if you are wondering whether or not you should stay in the game, you probably shouldn't stay in the game. And I think far too many people push themselves to stay in the game for reasons that they probably shouldn't. Whether it's ego, they don't want to quit, they want to get unstuck, they're greedy or whatever it is. But like the time to quit is right when you think you should quit.
Yeah, but that's kind of hard to tell because like you're just running so good, and then you just like whatever, you're literally crushing the game. Like you are literally like the chip lead, and you're just crushing the game. And then like one bad hand, and then it just goes down from there. But maybe it has to do with tilt too, right?
What's up?
I said it probably has to do with tilt because like you're running good, and just all of a sudden like when you hit one bad hand, and then you just keep going, and it just keep going down instead of getting up. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get up.
That's poker, man. You got to have that mindset. That's fundamental to the game. Like if you can't handle the losses, you're never going to be able to get the wins. That's just part of being strong mentally, and that's something you got to work on.
Okay, I have another question. Say if I take one shot at the 300, 600 game at the Macau,
Yeah.
with all my bankroll of 20K.
Not smart.
No, that's not smart.
That is not smart. Do not do that. Please don't do that. 20K is a lot of money. You should. The best advice I got about money was from Phil Locke, and he said, "You get rich slowly." And it's so simple,
Right.
But it's so true. People want to get rich quick, and there is not a way to do that doesn't involve risking unnecessary amounts of money, unless there's just luck. Like,
Yeah, I blew 100K playing 2-5 in the past, and I took a 1 year and a half break, and I'm thinking about coming back. You have any advice?
Don't make the same mistake you did last time, because you can see that it put you off for a year and a half. And so that if you just spent that year and a half grinding, you would have made more than you thought you would have made in that 1 week that you tried to turn 100K into 200 if you just spent that year and a half grinding.
Yeah, but I blew 100K for 2-5, but that's going to take a while to get back, like unless I pick up mistakes, don't you think?
Wait, say that again?
I said I blew 100K playing 2-5 in the course of 1 year, so...
study more and play less, because you're clearly a losing player in that 2-5 game. So you need to study more poker and play less poker, because you're not going to win if you don't make changes to how you approached it. I think a great quote by Albert Einstein that I love is the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you haven't made any changes to your game, then you are going to be in the same spot with that 20K. So I would focus all my attention on becoming the best player I can be so that I don't lose that money. And that might mean for you not tilting. I don't mean the best player in terms of reading hands. You know, being better at playing poker and being a better poker player are two different things, and you need to work on both. Cool?
Yeah, all right, thanks for
Got to take another call, my man. Good luck to you, brother. Much love. Cheers, buddy. All right, good stuff. Feel free to call in to the Ask Alec show. Good stuff. Good stuff. Very eclectic show. I think we've had a lot of different topics, and I'm realizing that, you know, doing a specific topic about the show just doesn't really make sense unless you like pre-screen the people that call in, and there's a lot of production work behind the scenes. Like I'd have to get people to submit their questions and then get them to agree to be on the phone at a certain time, and then call in, you know, in 10-minute increments to ask those questions. That might be a way to do that in the future, but I kind of just like the randomness of people calling. Hey man, what's up? What's your name and where are you from?
New York.
Awesome. What's your name?
My name is Matt.
Max. I was just in New York City. I left Manhattan to come to Hong Kong and Macau. Awesome place. I love it. Anyway, man, what can I help you with?
Awesome, man. So I've been a fan for a long time. First, just wanted to thank you for everything you do and all the free content.
Sure.
It means a lot to a lot.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm just tuning in. I really hope this wasn't already touched on before, but I was really curious, what percentage of your success would you attribute to your ability to read your opponents live versus like the game? In other words, like if you didn't have your live reads, how much less successful would you be? I mean, that kind of thing.
Well, if I didn't have my live reads, I would be playing online poker, and you know, I was very successful at online poker, so I think I could do it. But the edge that you have playing online, the edge you have playing live is way greater because you have those reads. What percentage? Probably like, you know, double.
Wow.
So, I mean, there are certain spots in live poker where the math might not make sense, but you know, with high degree of certainty that your opponent is bluffing or that they haven't. And that's just not something that you know online. And you might know live for reasons that you can't articulate or quantify, because it's your subconscious mind quantifying, millions of years of evolution and data that you just kind of come to a conclusion in a second, where someone's lying to you, you can't trust them, someone, you like them. Like, what is that? That's your intuition just making it a read. And that's something that we all have in varying degrees. And I think I've honed mine over the past 15 years, and I think mine is very good. I'm very confident in that. That's one of the best skills I have as a player. I have other weaknesses that other players don't have, and other players have skills that I don't have. But if you look at, athletes like tennis, some people are great volleyers, some people are great servers, some people are great service returners, right? And so, like, for me personally, I think that my live reads are a crux of my game that allow me to make plays that I wouldn't otherwise be able to make if I didn't have them. And so I rely on them heavily. And sometimes I'm wrong. I'm wrong often, but most of the time I'm right. And I trust that. And so for me, it's a very important part of my game. How important is it for you, which is probably more important to you? I don't know, because I just don't know your game. If you're a very math-oriented person and, you study pile solver and game theory, live reads might not make hold any weight to you. Like, I know players that speak out about the fact that they don't use live reads, really. They just follow game theory. And you've heard some people maybe mention that. You hear other players say that they don't really consider game theory that much. They just kind of go with their intuition and their reads. So it really depends on how you approach poker.
Sure. Very, very last question.
Sure.
Is there any way that you would tell someone that they could improve their live reads? Is there any way you practice it, or just maybe just things to be paying attention to?
Well, your live reads come from your ability to understand people. And you really have to be like curious about understanding how someone sees the world. And I don't know if I could teach the curiosity other than to maybe consciously think about it. But when I'm at the table, I'm trying to think about like, what is a person thinking? And I mean that in a deep way. I mean, like, what are their insecurities? Like, how do they see the world? What is causing them to act the way they do? Are they trying to prove that they're somebody because they were the jock football player in high school and they need to live up to that reputation and they're taking that out on poker? Are they scared of the money because they're taking a shot? Like, I really try to understand where someone is at mentally and how that is going to affect the way that they play the game. And so maybe taking, I did study some psychology, not super advanced, but like I really enjoyed that. And I realized that was something that I innately thought about when I interacted with people. I tried to understand on a deeper level how people saw the world. And that is something that I would implore you to do through maybe studying psychology. Would probably help you a lot.
Hey, thanks so much,
You
man.
got it,
I really
man.
appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, buddy. Appreciate you calling in.
Tables, buddy.
Thanks, Max. Enjoy New York City. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Later. All right, guys, taking more calls on the Ask Alec show. Can't wait to do this again when I have like, beautiful setup with a mic and production, and I can share my screen. I'm going to use OBS. Thank you. I've used that in the past, but thank you to some of my readers who have reminded me about that. I really appreciate that. I really want to make this the highest production possible. So let's go. Hey, man, what's your name? Where are you from? Hello?
Hello?
Hello. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, my name is Alex, and I'm from Tijuana, Mexico.
Okay, awesome.
So I have a question about I live in a border, so I know you know because you're from the south.
There you go.
California. So I have a question. So there's a situation going on. So I play in Mexico too, and then in the States 1-2.
Yeah.
And then over there I play 1-2 at the same. But now that you're in Macau and you're playing 300, like you said, 300, 600 and up.
Yeah.
How can you? I mean, how can you defer or like I'm talking about the money exchange. Like let me explain my situation. So if I go over there, it's gonna be $15.30, right? $1, $2. But it's the amount is too much, and then the currency is way different. That sometimes I mean not messed it up, but since I think it. I don't know how to do it. Either I think that they're dollars or pesos. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So the way to think about money in poker is to compartmentalize it. And you want to think about money in poker as if it's its own currency. So it's not US dollars, it's not pesos. It's a different currency, and it's chips and it's big blinds. And so the way to make poker decisions is relative decisions, which are big blinds. So whether you're playing, I don't care if I'm playing 100, 200 or 10K, 20K, whatever game I play, I'm not thinking about the financial amount of money that it is. I ask myself specifically, consciously, what is the best decision to make here? And then I say, this is the best decision, and I make that decision. And I don't think about the fact, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money. I say, what's the best way to play this hand? And I just execute. And so I'm always priming myself to think about the right way to play the hand, and then I make that decision because I'm thinking about the process of making the correct decision in units. And I don't even think about money until I'm back home from my trip and I translate that money into the real world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But since I live on the border, I think I have to split it out, or make a division, a wall, like, this is Mexico and this is state. This is dollars and this is that.
That's
like
less
I said,
important.
Probably my problem. Probably my problem because I cross every day. So that, and also, sometimes people from the States go to Mexico and play, let's say, play 1-2 or 2-3, and they put everything, they because sometimes it's way less. You start with $100 or the limit is 200, and instead of here, it's 100 big blinds in the States, and like that. I don't know if you're getting.
Yeah, I think the most important distinction you make is not from the U.S. to Mexico, but from the poker table to the real world. That's the real distinction you need to make mentally, where you're thinking about things in terms of units and chips, and then when you translate that into the real world, you're thinking about it in terms of whatever currency you're living in. So I hope that helps.
So it's like, let me explain you just one situation. Instead of 3-betting 4x, they go, I'm gonna lie, 8x.
Okay.
And it's like too much. It's not 1-2 no more.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're just going to adjust, your strategy accordingly. I mean, it's not. Yeah, if they're raising bigger, you're going to call with less hands. If they're raising smaller, you're going to call with more hands. But, that's just part of adjusting to the live poker scene. So yeah, you're going to have to adjust your ranges accordingly, of course.
Okay. All right.
Good luck, man. Appreciate you calling in. Thanks for your time. See you, buddy. Here on the Ask Alec show. See a lot of comments, guys. Appreciate you hanging out here and joining the show. Thank you for your time today and hanging out. Cool stuff. I'm going to take, wow, we've been over 2 hours. Time goes fast. I'm going to take another call, maybe 2, and then I'm going to wrap up. I think, man, it's been a fun show, guys. I really appreciate you being here. Cool stuff. Trying to think of what else. Anything else I want to cover on here? Man, we talked about a lot today. We talked about Macau. We talked about poker and life and business and shit. I gotta get 2 people call at the same time. Sorry, I had to pick one. And it was you, man. What's up? What's your name?
Hey, my name is Cameron Garrett.
Awesome, man. Where are you from, Cameron?
I'm from Palmdale, California.
Okay, cool. Awesome, man. What can I help with today?
Hey, I just had a question. I've been playing online poker for about a year, and not seeing good results. I mean, I have a few friends that are mildly successful at poker, but there's one theory that he tells me. He says, if I think I'm ahead, then I should jam it in. But I find myself going all in and I lose. I mean, sure, I do have the best hand at the time, like ace 10 versus ace 7, but I just always lose. And I was just wondering, to be a successful poker player, should I try to avoid going all in unless I have like a monster hand, like aces or kings or something? What do you think?
Well, no, So there's a strategic component to what you're asking. It's like, should I always go all in when you have the best hand? No. Sometimes when you have the best hand, the right play is to flat call and to trap your opponents because you want them to bluff off your stack to you. But that's more of like the technical side of things. But what you're asking about is like the fundamental side of things, which is like, is it wrong to put money in when you have the best hand? Should I wait to be like, till my equity is higher? And the answer is no. Like if you have, 60% equity, it's not wrong to put all your money in if your opponent is calling you with a worse hand. That's not the wrong decision. Like some people, I don't go all in unless I have the nuts, or I don't go all in unless it's the river and I have the best hand. But it's like, that isn't necessarily correct. Like sometimes it's correct to go all in earlier in the hand if you have the right hand and you want to deny equity or you want to charge your opponent for a draw or whatever it is. Like that's just the right way to play poker. And so in the long run, you will win more often if you have the best hand, and like you're just experiencing short-term variance. And I can assure you, you don't always lose when you have the best hand. Sometimes you win. Most of the time you win. It's just might not be happening in the short term, but that's part of the game, and you got to embrace it.
Okay, I hear you there. I appreciate it.
No worries, man.
Yeah, one more thing.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what my friend says as well, that it's, short-term variance, but, sometimes I just find it happening like 4 or 5 times in a row, and then I get tilted, but I guess that happens to everybody, and at that point, I should maybe just stop for a while until I feel better than play again, right? Because, losing 4 or 5 times in a row and I have the best hand, I can't play good poker, just get so angry at the game.
It sounds like you know your limits. You just have to be disciplined enough to execute on those limits. Or you have to get stronger mentally to the point where it doesn't bother you if you lose 4 hands in a row, because you know you played it well and you're just focused on making the best decision possible. So, there are some things you can do to improve your mental game as well, where you're like really trying to condition yourself to focus only on what you can control and forget about the rest. And so that's one thing I focus on a lot with my clients when I work with them, is like how to keep that mental game strong. And like one thing what I would tell them is to have something that you repeat to yourself every time you play a hand that gets your mind in the frame of what you want to think, how you want to feel, how you want to perform. So instead of your self-talk being negative, you can change your self-talk to being something like, my goal is to play the hand, the next hand the best way possible. And that simple action of saying that one thing to yourself in that moment, if you can have the presence and awareness to do that in that moment, will really help you focus your energy on what you can control and what you should be focused on, which is playing the hand the best way possible, not on the fact that you got unlucky. So your focus is on the wrong thing, and that's causing a lot of pain for you temporarily because you're worried about losing. Whereas what you should be worried about is how you want to play the hand, how you want to feel, how you want to perform, and winning. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'll definitely give it a try.
Do it, man. Good luck to you, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot, Alec.
Thanks for your time, man. Take it easy. Cheers. All right, I'm taking one more call, and then I'm going. I'm going to wrap this up at 9:30, so we got 8 minutes. I'll take one more call, and we'll make it happen. It's good stuff, guys. I really appreciate you being here today. This was very fun. I will do more of these in the future. Definitely committed to being more engaged with you guys and talking more poker, and about all on any topic. I feel like today, it'd be cool to have a focus, but it was also cool to get people have such an eclectic group of people that called in with so many different topics, so many different things. I'm already thinking of so many places I would like to take this show to make it better, because there's so many things we could do to improve, obviously. So it's exciting stuff. All right, last call of the day, guys. Let's make it happen. Hey, man, what's your name? Where are you from? Hello?
Hi, Tom from Houston.
Tom from Houston. What's up, man? What can I do for you?
Hey, I just got a question. I've been a big fan forever.
Awesome.
Online versus live.
Yep.
As far as learning and improving your game, did you find that you improved more when you were playing online, or you improved more by playing live?
It's a great question, and you improve in different ways when you're playing each format of poker. So, they give you different things. What online poker gives you is the fundamentals, and really understanding, mainly like your pre-flop ranges and your ranges in all situations. Because you're getting so many more hands per hour, you're getting a level of experience that you can't get playing live poker. You just simply can't get that level of experience. Hey, you need to mute me, man.
I don't have. I have you on a separate.
Okay.
The computer's on a headset, and I'm on a headset for my phone, so they're not on.
Yeah. So, what you get playing online poker is experience. And the experience is so much better than what you get playing live poker in the sense of sheer volume. You just get so much more volume that you really can't match that, because you're playing 100 hands an hour per table online and you're playing 25 hands an hour live. So what you can do playing online poker is incredible, because you should use that to build up your foundation, learn the fundamentals of which hands to play in which position, what your c-betting strategy should be, what your ranges should be, how to balance your range in different spots. And I think that's a great thing to do playing online poker. Now, when you play live poker, what you're getting is that experience that you can't get online, which is your live reads. We talked about that earlier with another caller. Like, you're just getting the experience of learning how someone sees the world or thinks about the game, and you can use those live reads to make higher level decisions. So you need to play a combination of both, and it ultimately depends on what your aspirations are. If you want to succeed at the live poker scene, you want to have a better experience playing poker and have more fun, maybe you want to play live. If you just want to get your hours in and make some, get some experience and hone your skills, maybe you want to play a little bit more online. So a little bit depends on what your priorities are, but it also depends on your practical situation too, and which format is better suitable for your personal needs. So hope that answers your question. I'm sorry I had to drop the caller. There was too much background noise and we were getting off on it. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate everyone's time today. This was an awesome show. Send me suggestions to on social media. You can hit me up on Twitter at Alec Torelli, or get in touch with me any way you can, any medium that works for you, and let me know suggestions for this or questions or subscribe to Conscious Poker if you haven't already. A lot of people asking how to improve their poker game. We have amazing free content at consciouspoker.com, and if you subscribe there, you'll get access to my hand reading system, which is a free download that you can use that really helps you understand how to read your opponent's hands better and the thought process that I go through in every hand you play. And that's some great free content for you as well. And if you have questions for me, you always know how to reach me. I will put them in future Ask Alec episodes and Hand of the Days as well. And so I appreciate everyone's time today. More awesome content coming your way from Macau. Be sure to stay tuned right here on YouTube, because I'm going to release Hand of the Day episodes and travel vlogs about my experience here in Macau, as well as answer some of your questions that I get all the time on social media. So thank you for your time today, everybody. Much love. Appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. I'm deeply grateful to be able to communicate with you guys, and this was awesome. Thank you, guys. Cheers.